We spend like so much time obsessed with the thrill of the hunt.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. I mean, in the business world, all the glory usually goes to the marketing campaigns or the really aggressive sales pitches.
The big wins.
Exactly. That triumphant moment when a new customer finally hands over their credit card. There's this huge buildup, champagne gets popped, bells get rung.
Everyone celebrates.
Yeah, everyone is thrilled. But today we're doing a deep dive into some really fascinating insights surrounding HubSpot Service Hub. And it kind of proves we might have it entirely backward.
We definitely do.
Because the real battle for a software company doesn't actually end when the credit card is charged. That is like literally when the timer starts ticking.
Right. The post-sale period is the actual battleground.
And my initial reaction to this was just, why? Like if the revenue is already secured, why is the back end of the customer journey suddenly the most critical piece of the puzzle?
Well, it requires a massive perspective shift, especially if you're, stuck in a traditional retail mindset.
Right, like selling a physical product.
Exactly. Think about it. The entire SaaS business model, software as a service, is built on subscriptions, not one-off transactions.
So it's not just a one-and-done deal.
No, not at all. You aren't selling a physical server in a box anymore. You're renting out access to this living, breathing ecosystem. And because of that, service is no longer just some department you call when something breaks.
It's bigger than that.
It's a continuous, ongoing process that is intimately tied to retention.
Mm-hmm.
Because every single month, that customer is subconsciously deciding whether to renew.
Oh, wow. I guess I never really thought about it like that, but you're right.
Yeah, if you stop providing value or if they hit a friction point that goes ignored, the revenue doesn't just dip, it disappears entirely.
Right, because the barrier to exit in software is practically zero.
Exactly.
It's just like a few clicks to cancel, which really changes the fundamental definition of what customer service actually means in this space.
It changes everything.
So for anyone listening right now, whether you are trying to scale your own startup or maybe you're leading a team or honestly just trying to understand the invisible machinery behind all those digital subscriptions you pay for every single month, understanding how these companies architect their retention strategies is super eye-opening.
It really is.
So we are looking at how HubSpot Service Hub handles this. But before we get into the tech stack and all the specific tools, I feel like we have to talk about the ultimate nightmare these teams are trying to avoid.
Remember, we're talking about churn.
The dreaded churn.
Yeah, it's the silent killer of the subscription economy.
And what's super interesting here is how we actually identify it. Because we all know churn is bad, right?
Yeah.
But the source material we're looking at redefines the warning signs entirely.
It does. It isolates very specific measurable churn signals.
Yeah, and these aren't just like people calling in angry and screaming on the phone. These are the quiet indicators that a customer already has one foot out the door.
And the quiet ones are actually the most dangerous ones. Oh, yeah. When you look at the behavioral data, there are three massive red flags. First, a customer simply not logging into the portal for an extended period.
Makes sense. If they aren't there, they aren't using it.
Right. Second is support tickets being opened by the user, but ultimately left unresolved.
Okay, wait.
And third is a steady, measurable decline in their overall usage of the system's core features.
I want to pause on that second one for a second, the unresolved tickets. Because intuitively, I would think an angry customer sending 50 emails a week is your biggest flight risk.
You would think so, yeah.
But you're saying a customer who opens a ticket, asks for help, and then just goes silent without ever getting an answer is actually worse.
Far worse. I mean, an angry customer is still engaged.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they still care enough to argue with you because they genuinely want the product to work.
Right.
But when a customer opens a ticket and then abandons it, that's learned helplessness.
Wow. Learned helplessness. That's a strong phrase.
It's true, though. They've basically decided that dealing with your support team is way more painful than just living with a broken feature. Or, even worse, they've already started Googling a competitor's alternative.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, that makes total sense when you put it like that. So let's talk about the visibility of these signals.
Sure.
Because if you run, say, a physical gym and a member stops swiping their key card at the front door,
You know they're leaving.
right, you know with near absolute certainty that they are eventually going to cancel. You literally physically see them not showing up.
Exactly.
But in the digital space, there is no physical front door. So how does a company actually monitor a steady decline in usage without manually stalking every single user's account?
Well, this is exactly why the overarching philosophy of customer success has to evolve. I mean, for years, the industry standard was entirely reactive.
Sitting around waiting for something to break.
Pretty much, yep. You sat around in a call center waiting for the phone to ring or an email to drop. But to survive now, you have to transition to proactive intervention.
Proactive meaning you go to them.
Exactly. You have to catch them before they experience that learned helplessness. And to do that, you need a system that automatically tracks that digital footprint.
Which brings us to the architectural choice that HubSpot made, which really seems to be the linchpin of this entire strategy we're looking at.
The CRM-native approach.
Right. They build a service hub to be CRM-native. Let's break down the mechanics of that, because I feel like almost every company out there has some kind of CRM, and almost every company has a help desk.
Yeah, but they usually hate each other.
Right. They don't talk to each other at all.
That's the classic silo problem.
Yeah.
Your sales team is operating out of one piece of software, your marketing team is running campaigns in another one, and then your support agents are answering tickets in a completely detached third platform.
It's a mess.
It is. Getting them to sync up requires massive engineering effort, and even then, data still falls through the cracks all the time.
Right. So what did HubSpot do differently here?
Well, by making Service Hub CRM native, HubSpot basically built the support desk directly on top of their smart CRM.
So they are literally the same thing.
It's the exact same database.
So there's absolutely no synchronization delay. It's just like one unified brain.
Exactly, one brain. Every single action is logged as continuous customer lifecycle data.
Okay.
So if a user submits a ticket, logs into the portal, downloads a white paper, or even just reads an FAQ article, it all streams directly into that central CRM profile instantly.
Okay, let me test an analogy on you to see if I'm really grasping the impact of this.
Go for it.
Because almost every app I use has a little question mark icon that takes me to some kind of help portal.
Right, standard table stakes stuff.
Yeah. But if we're talking about a traditional siloed help desk, it feels like going to a walk-in clinic.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
Like you walk in and you have to explain your entire medical history from scratch because these people don't know you at all. You fill out the clipboard, tell them what hurts, when it started, what medications you're on, all of that.
Yep, completely from zero.
Whereas a CRM native portal is more like walking into your long-term primary care doctor's office. But they also have a live feed of your smartwatch fitness data, your sleep tracking, and your recent diet logs just up on their screen before you even sit down.
It's a great baseline, but honestly, I'd take it a step further.
Really? How so?
It's like your doctor knowing exactly what you've been Googling about your symptoms before you even schedule the appointment.
Whoa. Okay, that is wild.
Yeah, because it's CRM native, the context isn't just historical, it's highly behavioral.
Okay.
At the walk-in clinic, the burden of context is entirely on the patient, or in this case, the customer. You have to translate your frustration into data for them to understand.
Right, I have to explain why I'm annoyed.
Exactly. But with a unified CRM, the support agent pulls up your profile and immediately sees that, hey, you upgraded your subscription tier 2 weeks ago, and yesterday you spent 45 minutes clicking through advanced reporting tutorials before you finally gave up and submitted a ticket.
So they see the friction happening in real time.
They see it all.
The agent knows you're trying to build a report and failing, so they don't even have to ask, like, have you tried looking at our reporting documentation?
Because they know you already did.
Precisely. They know I just spent 45 minutes on it.
Exactly. They can completely bypass the basic troubleshooting steps that usually infuriate users anyway and just jump straight to the actual solution. It transforms the interaction from an interrogation into a rescue mission.
I love that. A rescue mission instead of an interrogation. So having all this behavioral data unified in one brain is incredibly powerful.
Very.
But raw data just sitting in a server somewhere doesn't magically prevent churn. You need a mechanism to actually operationalize it.
Right, you have to do something with it.
Let's dig into the actual anti-churn toolkit we have in the source material. How does this platform turn a mountain of clicks and logins into proactive retention? Because the first feature listed here sounds a bit intense. The customer health score.
Intense but highly effective.
Okay, tell me about it.
The customer health score is where that CRM native architecture really flexes its muscles. The system uses algorithms to mathematically analyze the ongoing relationship between the customer and your software.
So it's literally quantifying satisfaction.
Pretty much, yeah.
How does the math actually work, though? Like, what variables is it looking at?
It continuously weighs a variety of factors.
Yeah.
So it looks at their overall system usage. Are they logging in daily, or is it just once a month?
Right.
It evaluates the frequency of their support contacts. It tracks general engagement metrics. And then the algorithm synthesizes all of this and generates a dynamic score that flags which users are healthy, which are at risk, and which are actively slipping away.
But those variables must be super tricky to balance.
How do you mean?
Well, for example, what if I have a user who logs in every single day, which seems like a great sign, right?
Sure.
But they're also submitting 3 support tickets a week. Are they a healthy super user who's just pushing the limits of the software? Or are they an incredibly frustrated user who is one bad day away from canceling?
See, that's exactly the beauty of looking at a composite score, rather than just isolated metrics.
Ah, okay.
High usage coupled with a high ticket volume might actually flag as a moderate risk. And that prompts a customer success manager to reach out personally, not to troubleshoot a specific bug, but maybe to offer a strategic training session.
That is so smart.
It takes the guesswork completely out of prioritization. Your team doesn't have to wait for the cancellation email to realize someone was struggling. The system highlights the friction mathematically for you.
That shifts the entire dynamic. You're calling them before they even realize how annoyed they are.
Exactly. You get ahead of it.
Now, what happens when a customer does need to reach out directly? The data outlines another major component here, Breeze, which is HubSpot's AI customer service agent.
Right, Breeze.
And I'm going to push back pretty hard on this one, to be honest.
Oh, really? Let's hear it.
Whenever a tech company starts hyping up an AI customer agent, I get incredibly skeptical.
I don't blame you.
I just instantly picture those infuriating chatbot loops. Like you type, speak to a human, and the bot replies, here is an article about resetting your password.
Oh, we've all been there. It's the worst.
It feels like a digital bouncer whose only job is to protect human agents from having to actually talk to me. So based on our source, how is Breeze actually helpful and not just another digital bouncer?
It's a very valid hesitation. We've all been trapped in that algorithmic purgatory. But the mechanism behind Breeze operates fundamentally differently, and it all comes down to its training data.
Okay, how so?
Well, generative AI is usually notorious for hallucinating or just giving generic, unhelpful advice because it's pulling from the entire open internet, right?
Right, it's just guessing based on everything.
Exactly. Breeze, however, is trained exclusively on the company's own internal documentation.
Oh, so it's fenced in.
Exactly. It only knows what you explicitly teach it. It ingests your specific knowledge base, your proprietary help articles, and your internal manuals.
So there's no open internet guesswork?
None at all. Because its universe of knowledge is restricted to your actual verified documentation, the accuracy skyrockets. It doesn't act like a bouncer. It acts a lot more like a hyper-efficient librarian.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Yeah, so if a customer asks a highly specific question about, say, API limits, Breeze instantly pulls the exact paragraph from page 42 of your developer documentation and hands it directly to them.
Okay, so it genuinely resolves those transactional how do I do this questions instantly.
Without making them wait for a human, yeah.
Which I imagine has to have a massive cascading effect on the human support team.
Oh, it's massive. Think about it. If the AI librarian can successfully deflect 40% of routine inquiries, your human agents are no longer drowning in password resets and basic configuration questions.
They actually have time to breathe.
They do. It clears the queue so that human empathy and creative problem solving are reserved for the complex, nuanced issues that actually require a human brain.
That makes a lot of sense. You're preserving human cognitive load for the things that really matter.
Exactly.
But speaking of those human agents, when a complex issue does escalate, how does the system manage that interaction? Because the data highlights omnichannel support and help desk capabilities.
Well, omnichannel is no longer just a luxury. It's practically a baseline expectation at this point.
Because everyone uses everything now.
Right. Customers want to reach out on whatever platform they're currently holding in their hand. They might start a live chat on their laptop, follow up via email a few hours later, and eventually just call in from their phone.
Yeah, I've definitely done that.
In a traditional setup, those are 3 different tickets assigned to 3 different agents who literally have no idea the other conversations are even happening.
Which forces the customer to repeat their account number and explain the problem 3 separate times.
Exactly.
And that is the literal definition of friction.
It is. So omnichannel pulls all of those disparate communication, chat, email, phone, the portal, into one centralized timeline for the agent. The routing happens seamlessly behind the scenes.
The calling integration specifically caught my attention here.
Oh, it's a perfect illustration of reducing agent cognitive load.
How does it work?
Well, with the calling integration, agents make and receive calls directly within the HubSpot interface itself. But the crucial part is that the call is automatically recorded, transcribed, and logged onto the customer's CRM record
Instantly.
instantly. There is no manual data entry required whatsoever. The agent doesn't have to spend 5 minutes after hanging up typing out a huge summary of what was just discussed.
Well, that's amazing. The system just absorbs the context automatically.
Exactly.
So if I call on Tuesday and then email on Thursday, the agent on Thursday just reads the transcript from Tuesday. We aren't starting from zero.
Right, they're fully up to speed before they even say hello.
Now, to keep all these different interactions from turning into absolute chaos, the platform uses ticket pipelines. How do those function mechanically?
So think of ticket pipelines as customizable visual workflows, because a global business isn't a monolith, right?
Yeah.
A support request originating in Europe might have completely different compliance requirements than one in North America.
Like GDPR stuff, yeah.
Exactly. Or, a deep technical bug requires a totally different escalation path than just a billing discrepancy. These pipelines allow operations managers to build specific, distinct tracks that mirror their actual organizational structure, rather than forcing every single ticket through the exact same rigid funnel.
So you can tailor the software to fit the company instead of twisting the company to fit the software.
Exactly.
There's one more feature in the anti-churn toolkit I really want to highlight because it solves a universal annoyance for me.
Oh, what's that?
Meeting scheduling.
Ah, yes.
The ability to just send a shareable link so the customer can pick a time on your calendar. I cannot express how much I despise the email ping pong of scheduling.
It's the absolute worst.
It really is. Does Tuesday at 2 work? No, I'm in a meeting. How about Wednesday at 4? No, I'm out of the office. Like, by the time the call is finally booked, I'm already annoyed with the company.
And you're touching on a fundamental psychological truth of customer retention there. Friction exhausts goodwill.
It really does.
Every extra step, every redundant email, every time they have to repeat themselves, you are mathematically increasing the likelihood that they will decide your software just isn't worth the hassle anymore. Eliminating that scheduling ping pong isn't just about convenience.
It's retention.
It is a calculated retention tactic.
Okay, so we've painted a picture of this incredibly slick, highly integrated ecosystem. It mathematically calculates when you're going to get frustrated. It uses fenced-in AI to solve your problems instantly, and it gives human agents a god's eye view of your entire history so they never have to ask for your account number twice.
Sounds pretty good, right?
It sounds perfect, but this is the real world. We have to talk about the catch, and we definitely have to talk about the cost.
Fair enough. Let's get into it.
Who is this actually for, and what are the limitations?
Well, accessibility is a crucial factor here. One of the major hurdles for SaaS startups is that building a secure, branded customer portal usually requires pulling software developers off your core product to build it.
Which is incredibly expensive.
Highly expensive. HubSpot's approach here is that businesses can spin up a fully branded, secure portal without writing custom code. It completely bypasses the need for dedicated engineering resources.
Okay, so that alone saves a small startup tens of thousands of dollars in developer salaries.
Easily.
But what is the actual subscription cost for the Service Hub itself?
It's highly stratified based on need. The entry-level tier starts at roughly $10 per user per month.
Okay, that's really accessible.
It is. But the enterprise tiers, the packages that unlock all the most complex routing and automation features we talked about, those scale all the way up to around $150 per user per month.
Whoa. Okay, $10 to $150 is a massive leap.
It is a jump.
That's like a 15x multiplier. We need to break down what happens in that gap. Is the $10 version just a stripped-down starter kit that's missing the actual engine, or is it a fully functional vehicle?
It's definitely fully functional.
Because the data mentions advanced features like conditional SLAs and skill-based routing are locked behind those high-priced enterprise tiers.
Right.
Let me use an analogy. Is this like buying a smart home security system?
Let's see.
Like the $10 tier is a really high-quality digital deadbolt for a studio apartment. It keeps you perfectly safe.
Okay.
But the $150 tier is the facial recognition camera system, automated laser grids, and silent alarms you need if you're guarding a massive mansion. Does a 3-person startup really need the laser grid?
That is a highly accurate way to look at it, actually.
Yeah.
Let's look at the mechanics of what those advanced features actually do to see why.
Okay.
An SLA, or a service level agreement,
Yeah.
is a contractual promise-like guaranteeing you will respond to any critical server outage within 2 hours. Conditional SLAs allow you to build incredibly complex logic trees around those timers. For example, if the ticket comes from a VIP client, in the finance sector, located in Tokyo, apply this specific timer.
Wow.
But if it's a standard user in New York, apply a completely different timer.
Okay, yeah, that is definitely mansion-level security. And what about skill-based routing?
So with basic routing, a ticket just goes to the next available agent in the queue, right?
Right, standard ticketing.
But skill-based routing automatically parses the incoming request, analyzes the technical requirements, and bypasses the general queue entirely to assign it to the specific engineer who holds the exact certification needed to solve that exact problem.
So if it's a deep API integration error, the system doesn't send it to the billing department. It routes it straight to the senior API specialist.
Exactly. Now, back to your startup question. Does a company with 4 support agents sitting in a Slack channel together need automated, algorithmic, skill-based routing?
Probably not.
Absolutely not. They can just read the ticket and say, hey, this looks like an API issue. Can you take it? The friction there is minimal.
That makes total sense.
The $10 tier gives them the core value, the CRM connection, the unified omnichannel inbox, and the centralized portal. That is the digital deadbolt, and it's highly effective.
So you only upgrade to the $150 tier when the sheer volume and complexity of your operation would cause manual routing to completely break down.
Exactly. You scale the tool to match the complexity of the friction.
That makes perfect sense. So pulling all of this together, what is the ultimate takeaway here? We started this conversation talking about the adrenaline of closing a sale versus the quiet, grueling reality of keeping a customer.
The foundational takeaway is that in the modern software landscape, customer service can no longer be a reactive afterthought relegated to an isolated silo.
It just doesn't work anymore.
No. By utilizing a CRM-native architecture, platforms like HubSpot Service Hub allow businesses to connect every single interaction back to a central nervous system.
One brain.
One brain. It transforms the invisible digital footprint into actionable intelligence, and that enables companies to predict churn before it happens and eliminate friction before the customer even fully registers it.
And for you listening right now, I think this fundamentally changes how you should view the digital products you interact with on a daily basis.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, think about the software you use for work or the streaming services you use at home. Every time you log in, every time you poke around an FAQ page looking for an answer, or honestly, every time you let an app sit idle on your phone for 3 weeks. You aren't just going about your day.
You're leaving a trail.
You are generating behavioral data. There is a very high probability that the companies you pay every month are running that data through an algorithm right now, calculating your personal health score.
It's happening as we speak.
They are identifying the exact moment you start slipping away, often before you have even consciously decided you want to cancel.
It really pulls back the curtain on the invisible infrastructure that keeps the subscription economy afloat, you know?
Yeah.
The data is always talking, even when the customer is silent.
It does. It really does. And honestly, it leaves me with one final, slightly provocative thought that I want you to chew on after this deep dive is over.
Let's hear it.
We just talked about how algorithms can mathematically predict when you're going to quit based on how long you hover over a button, and how fenced-in AI can instantly deploy solutions from a manual without any human intervention.
Right.
It makes you wonder, as these predictive models become even more sophisticated, is the ultimate endgame of customer support to completely bypass human interaction?
Oh, wow.
Like, if a system can flawlessly predict your frustration before you even feel it and silently patch the glitch in your software before you even open a ticket, will the future of customer service teams just be psychologists and data scientists tuning algorithms rather than humans actually talking to humans?
It's a fascinating trajectory. I mean, we might be moving toward a reality where the greatest customer service you ever experience is the service that happens so proactively you never even knew you needed it.
And on that slightly sci-fi note, we are wrapping up today's deep dive. Keep questioning the hidden systems behind the software you rely on, pay a little more attention to your own digital footprint, and we will catch you next time.